in the past year, and I believe it's one that will continue.
So what sort of picture does that paint for you in your mind of what will happen to the beach road? Do you think there will still be enough people interested in opening up shops and trying their hand? Because a lot of them do seem to be trying their hand. There's a fast turnover.
Well, I do believe so. I mean, everything takes time. I mean, for the expo, we're expecting around 20 to 25 million people to come in. A lot of those F&B people will be here, and we're anticipating 10 to 15% of them to stay in the region. Now, when that time comes, of course, Beach Road will pick back up.
So you're talking about growth of F&B in the region. What about the changing shape of F&B?
Time will tell.
Okay, so what about Dubai South and the Expo influence?
Well, that's very exciting. What's coming up there? I mean, that will be really great for the economy overall. We're expecting a huge number of F&B retailers to come in from all over the world. It's very exciting.
But they will be here for 6 months. Do you think that many of them will stay?
Absolutely. Yes. The figures are about 10 to 15% overall will stay in the region. I mean, for example, when you look at, people always talk about the oversupply. The retail market is oversupplied. We're building retail right, left, and center, which we are, because the predictions are from 7.7 million square meters in 2017, we will be up to 9.9 in 2020. And the reason for that is because of the anticipated stay after the expo.
You've got your finger on the pulse, Lynnette. What are you seeing about the number of commercial transactions at the moment?
So right now, if we if we do a comparison of the first 5 months of 2018 versus 2019, we've seen a growth of 112% in the retail space, and 39% in the office space, and 25% in the commercial land space. So we are seeing a significant rise in commercial transactions this year, and we're only 6 months in.
What are we seeing in terms of migratory patterns of the lesser spotted Dubai resident? We know that areas go through periods of popularity, obviously, what's new, what's cheap, but then as other areas empty out and become cheaper, do we see people move back? Where are we going at the moment?
So that's I would say over the last year and a half, the migration patterns have been very interesting, especially with all the new supply that has come into the market. So if we look at transaction data, and if we look at, for example, the Property Finder demand data, what we are seeing is obviously the top transacting areas are still the popular Dubai marinas, the business bay, especially because of all the new supply that's come in that area. But we're seeing a lot of people move from the Dubai marina area to the JVCs, to the Dubai land, the Arabian Ranches, Town Square, where it's much more affordable. If you're a family and you've been living in a 2-bedroom apartment in Dubai Marina, now you can finally get a really nice 3-bedroom townhouse with a garden. So we're seeing a lot in regards to the demand data, that migration pattern, and it's just been very, very interesting. And now with Dubai South, we're starting to see properties come online and made available and being handed over. So it's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen as far as where people are going to move from to Dubai South.
Did you suggest that there was a net reduction in people in the marina area because they're moving to bigger properties elsewhere?
No, because now the Dubai Marina people are moving more towards the outskirts, the suburbs of the areas. But then you have people who are always wanted to move into Dubai Marina, and they're going in that direction. So it's all leveling out.
Which is interesting.
Very interesting.
So market over the... Go on, Brandy.
Hang on, I'm taking the migration one step further. What about between Emirates? As Dubai becomes more affordable, are we seeing people come in from Sharjah?
Yes. So what we're seeing now is we've seen a lot of people from Sharjah move into the Dubai Sports City area. And that was a pattern that we started seeing last year. And we were actually dubbing it the Little Sharjah. And that is just because Dubai Sports City had the cheapest rents over the last year.
Angela, you've spotted the trend of sort of hotels, and there's a lot of them around town, outsourcing their F&B outlets. What does that mean? Is it people who've previously had their own outlet are moving into the hotels?
Well, initially, hotels used to run everything, operations and F&B. And over the past years, we've seen them start to outsource. They'd call in, for example, someone like myself, who is an expert in retail, and they'd have me bring in brands from outside. And of course, we're very particular into, the hotel has to be, we need French, we need Italian cuisine, we need Asian cuisine. And more, we're just getting the demand for hotels to have outside operators. And back when, maybe 2 hotels used to work with me 7-8 years ago. Now I find pretty much every hotel in town is knocking at my door.
There is something of a slowdown generally accepted, I think, around Dubai, in retail, in hospitality, etc. Are you seeing much evidence of that?
I'm going to say no. No, I still have quite a demand for F&B. My biggest issue often is that I have more people for one space, and particularly licensed venues in hotels, because it's not a common factor that we find, and everybody wants in.
Yourself, Lynnette, I mean, what are you seeing in the number of commercial transactions recently? I mean, is it growing or is it falling? I suppose that's the key question.
It's growing. It's growing significantly. So if we look at total number of transactions, 2018, we had a little over 1,600 sales transactions in the commercial space. If you look at so far this year until June, we're already at over 1,100. So we're probably double by the end of the year the amount of sales transactions in the commercial space.
And what are you noting about the type of people or companies that are buying? Or renting.
Question.
Asian has picked up quite a bit. That's very popular coming into the market.
What nationalities?
Asian market, all over.
From the Far East or in subcontinent? Or?
Yeah, everybody. We have Chinese, we have tons of people coming in, Japanese, a big influence in that. And aside from that, cuisine-wise, vegetarian and vegan, the health craze is just...
It's really taken off around the world, hasn't it? And it's making an impact here as well.
Even if you open the apps, you'll see, vegan, healthy, this, that. I mean, every restaurant you go to, they're handing you a proper vegetarian menu. Even the big boys are coming to me and saying, bring me these operators. We need more vegan, we need more vegetarian, we need more healthy.
Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Lynnette Abad, Director, Research and Data at Property Finder, and Angela Gegg, Commercial Director at Provident Real Estate. We appreciate your time. Thank you both.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Property Pulse, the industry insider's view of the real estate market.
On Dubai Eye 103.8. There's just so much more to hear.
Download our podcast